If you're a fan of Marvel movies, you probably know that Thor: Love and Thunder recently came out. I am not a huge Marvel buff, but my husband is, and so he asked if I wanted to go see it. I watched the trailer, and I gotta say, Natalie Portman is looking pretty good in that movie. And of course, not only is she a great actress, but she is also vegan. Now, there is some speculation that her arms may have had some CGI enhancements, but I'm sure she still did a lot of work to get in shape for this role. So she has actually inspired me to eat a little healthier. And I'll tell you, getting in shape is tough, but what's even harder is maintaining it. I do know how to count macros and eat clean, and I've done it many times before, but it's been a little while. So I decided to do a little 30-day eat clean and hit the gym routine, and if you want to follow along on all of that progress, I'll be posting updates on my Instagram. That being said, today we are going to meal prep what Natalie was eating to become so fit for Thor. I came across an article that said she was eating oats and berries for breakfast, falafel for lunch, and curry for dinner, and a protein shake with each meal. That's 3 protein shakes a day. I'm sure that's way too many calories for me in my current activity level. Natalie was probably working out all day to get in shape for that role, so I'm going to reduce it to 1 protein shake for me instead of 3. Now, if you'd like to do this meal prep right along with me, I've actually made a free meal prep guide with these exact recipes and a shopping list. So if you're already on my mailing list, you have this in your inbox already. And if you're not, but you do want a copy for free, make sure you check out the link in the description box or the pinned comment down below. And with that, let's get started. So we're gonna start by making breakfast. I'm just using quick cooking steel cut oats in the Instant Pot. You could also use rolled oats or quick oats if you prefer, and you could also do the stovetop method if you don't have an Instant Pot. Make sure your lid is pointed to ceiling, not venting. And for these quick cooking steel cut oats, you can just press the porridge button and reduce the time to 1 minute. Once they're finished, I like to add a little bit of chia seeds and ground flax, but this is optional, it's just for a little extra health boost. And just like that, our breakfast is ready to go. So for lunch, it said that Natalie was having falafel, although it doesn't really give a lot more info than that. So I decided to just do a falafel salad with a side of hummus and tzatziki dressing. Now, I have made this falafel before. In fact, I have a recipe video for it. If you want to check that out, I will link it down below. But basically, we're gonna start out with uncooked chickpeas, and we are going to soak them for 18 to 24 hours. Once they have soaked, just drain them and give them a quick rinse, and then add them into your food processor, bonus points if they fly everywhere. And then to the chickpeas, we're just gonna add a small onion, 7 or 8 cloves of garlic, a cup of fresh parsley, 3/4 cup of fresh coriander, and our spices. We have ground coriander, black pepper, ground cumin, and cayenne pepper, which is optional. We're also just gonna add a pinch of salt and a couple tablespoons of sesame seeds. You may need to scrape down the sides a few times as you're processing, but the final mixture should be grainy, not smooth like a paste, and it should be able to hold its shape as you roll it into a ball. Now here's my best tips for making these falafel balls. I did notice that the mixture always seems kind of wet. It almost feels like you need to add some kind of flour. As you can see, it forms easily into a ball, but you can also easily break it. So this is totally normal. I just found that by working it over and over and compacting it into that ball shape, eventually you will get a nice round ball that holds together. So just keep working that batter into that ball shape, pressing and compacting as you go. Now, instead of deep frying these, we are going to bake them in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes, flipping halfway through. And now onto our tzatziki dressing. First, we are going to soak the cashews in boiling water. That'll just help soften them and make them easier to blend, especially if you don't have a very strong blender. This will really help. Once those have soaked, just drain and rinse them and add them into your blender with fresh water and a pinch of salt. Now this is your recipe for just a basic cashew cream, but of course we're gonna jazz it up and make it into a tzatziki with just a couple more ingredients. And now on to dinner, I'm gonna make the red lentil curry from Rainbow Plant Life because it is delicious. I actually made it in a previous video, which I will link down below in case you wanna check it out. Plus, this curry is pretty easy to make and pretty hands-off once you get everything cooking in your pot. So just starting out by dicing a couple peppers. I just substituted the serrano peppers for jalapeno peppers. We will also need some fresh minced ginger and some garlic. Now I'm just doing a water saute instead of using oil. The original recipe does call for oil, so that is up to you. And then adding in the garlic, the ginger, and the peppers. And then just adding in our spice blend of turmeric, curry powder, garam masala, cumin, coriander, and chili powder. Now sometimes I like to add in cubed sweet potato, so if I was doing that, I would add it at the same time as the lentils, but today I'm just opting for some frozen veg, which I will add in at the end. So now while that's cooking, of course, we are just going to get our rice started. Pro tip, make sure you wash your rice thoroughly. I like to wash it 3 times. And you also don't have to use rice here. You could use another grain like quinoa or a hearty grain like spelt, whatever you like. So I like to use this frozen riced cauliflower, but of course you could add another veggie if you wanted to, like frozen peas, or you could even do some steamed veggies on the side if you prefer. Now you can definitely pre-portion out each individual serving if you prefer. What I personally like to do is just to leave our oatmeal in a large Tupperware, and then I take my individual portion out each morning, microwave it, and add my fruit on top. For the salad, I recommend not adding dressing until you're right about to eat it, and that'll just help keep the greens from going soggy. And then same thing for the curry and rice. It'll probably just keep the rice a little bit less soggy if you separate the curry from the rice until you're just about to eat it. But of course, if you're taking it to work or something like that, I think it would be fine to combine the rice and the curry the night before. So now with meals prepped for the next 3 days, we can relax. And just as a reminder, if you do want a free copy of this meal prep with all the recipes, directions, and shopping lists, check out the link in the pinned comment or the description box down below. And if you want to follow along on my 30-day journey, make sure you're following me on Instagram. And with that, let's eat plants, and I'll see you guys next time.